Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Jake Corson, and this is Dirt Road Barbecue. And this weekend, we're doing something a little bit different. We're catering my best friend's diaper party for tomorrow. So this isn't going to be a real in-depth per dish, instructional video. We're just going to have a bunch of fun. We'll go over all the stuff that we're making for it, and just do a little bit of everything. I know you're going to have a lot of questions for me this weekend. Like the older generation, I didn't know this, but you guys don't know what a diaper party even is. You guys didn't have them. Well, just to put it in the plainest terms I can, it's the dude side of a baby shower, basically. It takes two people to make a baby, so I've been told. This is just the baby shower for dudes. You're going to blow stuff up. You're going to drink beer. You're going to bring a box of diapers. That's what a diaper party is. Now, you also are probably going to have other questions for me, like, Jake, how do you make a baby? And I knew you'd ask this question. I just knew it. So we're going to start from the beginning. It all starts when you're young and starry-eyed and everything in the world's still possible to you. You meet a young lady and you fall in love. And what you have to do next is you have to emotionally manipulate her into thinking that she can't do any better than you and she has to stay with you for the rest of her life. Everything after that is just clerical work. Anyhow, we're doing brisket, we're doing pulled pork, we're doing camp beans, and I cheated a little bit. My mom's really good at making macaroni salad, so I put her ass back to work. She made the macaroni salad. I wasn't going to try it and blow the attempt, so she just made it for us. So this weekend, we're going to have a lot of fun. Might tell some jokes, have a good time. But let's go. All right, guys, so we're back out here tonight. Bear with me. I'm a little coarse. Pretty sure I have pneumonia from the flu I had last week. We're powering through. But I told you this wasn't going to be a real instructional cook. I went and did a lot of stuff without you guys. Please don't take it personally. A lot of stuff going on. You guys have seen me do pork butts before. You've seen me do brisket before. So I didn't feel like you needed to see me rub this stuff down. You guys need to subscribe to my OnlyFans. You can see me do plenty of rubbing on there. Anyhow, this is what we got. It's about, I don't know, probably like 9:30 or so at night. We're getting ready to throw this stuff on the smoker. We got it all prepped, ready to go. As you can see, like we always do, we've made a mess. That means shit's happening. It's like cooking's kind of like a garage, Like I tell everyone, if you got a clean garage, you probably don't get a whole lot of shit done. If you're clean when you're cooking, just assume your food's not going to be that good. Cooking's dirty. Cooking's messy. I'm messy. So we go hand in hand. So as you can see, we got two pork butts laid out here. We got a brisket over here. The brisket, like I do my briskets. I tell you guys all the time, stop taking all that fat off. It's the best part of everything. Fat. It's like a woman. Granddad always said there's only two kinds of women in this world. The good old big ones, the big old good ones. Fat is what makes our meat so great. So we leave it on there. All I do is I shape that brisket up. Give it a good ergonomical shape, if that's what you want to call it. We let the smoke roll over it. We're not catching any edges. Nothing rough on this brisket. It's like a bullet. So I'm going to bring you over here. We'll show you what we got. And we're going to go ahead and throw this stuff on the smoker at 225 tonight. It's going to roll through the night. I'll get up in the morning, probably around like 5 or 6. Check it. We're probably going to be close to wrapping around that time. So, yeah, I'll bring you over here. Let's check this shit out. So, guys, check out this mess that we made here. We've got two beautiful pork butts. That pork butt there is getting ready to fall apart. Probably wrap that in some butcher twine to keep that held together during the cook. We got a brisket all laid out here. Look how beautiful that brisket is. Yeah, two pork butts, one brisket. Let's throw it on. I'll see you guys in the morning. We'll get these wrapped up in the morning, and at some point in the morning, I'll show you how I do my camp beans. Let's go. All right, guys, so here we are back here in the morning. Our brisket has reached the temp. I don't go for a temp, so that doesn't really matter. But our bark looks sexual. That's how I'll put it. This brisket's looking great. We've got a nice char on the outside. That bark is set up real nice. Hit it around 180. A little bit higher, actually. 182 is where I like the bark at on this one. So we've got our butcher paper laid out here. I have the fat side laid up right now. It's not real pretty on the top right now. Obviously, that's the rack side. But I wanted to get the meat side down on that wet paper. And we're going to set it on the smoker, actually fat side up when it's wrapped. That way, all that rendered fat juice seeps down into the meat portion, keeps this nice and moist. So that's why I've got this fat cap side up right now. But I'll bring you over. We're just going to wrap it up, throw it back on. All right, guys, so just going to move all of our paperweights here. Nice and simple. We have to spread this paper out just a little bit more so we get this wrapped up the whole way. You can hear some of that crunch from the bark underneath this butcher paper, which is good. That bark looks great on this. I'm really happy with how that turned out overnight. So as you can see, that's where we're at. Excuse me. Let that soak in nice. Now, when I do my briskets, if there's a ton of fat on it that I'm leaving on, which is normally how I do my briskets, you guys have seen this before, you can put some tallow on your paper, spray it with some cooking spray, whatever, bacon, you could even do bacon fat, whatever, just to wet it down really is the only thing. There's plenty of juice in this brisket. You're not trimming all that fat off. It is rendering down and sweating a ton of fat off of this. So it's gonna stay plenty moist. It's not what we're worried about. So no need to drench your paper in tallow, drip tallow over the meat, whatever your happy-go-lucky shit is that you do. But we've got this wrapped up real nice. This side is actually gonna go back down. So I have it flipped this way just to hold the paper down until we get it on the smoker. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw this back on. Still rolling at 225. Hey guys, so we got our pork butts off of the smoker, getting ready to wrap them. Hit 160, they were right at where I like that bark to be at. So we're getting ready to wrap these. Now, we had tin foil underneath them, catching all the drippings. We dumped that in. And then we go in with Mike's Hot Honey on top of the butts themselves. A little bit of that rib rub and brown sugar mix, and then a little bit of Bayou blend, Killer Hog's Bayou blend on them, a little bit of spice for that sweetness. And yeah, so we're just put some brown sugar on top of there, get that little sweet, nice pulled pork sweetness in there. I like a little bit of brown sugar in that pulled pork. And all right, we're gonna get these covered in aluminum foil, get them back on the smoker to bring them up to 200 to 205. So dash for cash now, a couple hours left. Okay guys, so we're to the portion where we're gonna make these camp beans. They're easy, they're great to do for an event, they taste great. There's really not much I can say about them other than they're pretty much a piece of cake. I mean, there's nothing crazy to this. I've already went ahead and browned up 1 pound of hot pork sausage and 1 pound of my buck sausage that I just harvested last weekend. I'll throw a pic probably right after this in here so you guys can see my buck. Great hunt, biggest buck I've got so far. I've never gotten a buck this early. I'm so grateful for it. I love hunting. It's what it's all about, and we're using some of it to celebrate my buddy's blessing, really, that his soon to come newborn baby. So this is what it's all about. That's what hunting is to me. This is what right here. I mean, I could go round and round in circles all day long, but what more can you say about it? So let's get over here. Let's make some camp beans, and I'll bring you over here close up. All right, guys, like I told you, this is easy lemon peasy. We've got 1 pound of hot pork sausage, 1 pound of venison burger. I went ahead and diced up 2 onions and browned them in with 2 jalapenos. We browned them up in a pan, and then after the meat's browned and the onions and 2 whole jalapenos are all mixed in together, I take 1 more onion, chop it up, throw it in there raw with the heat off and everything to add a little bit of crunch. I want that raw onion in there as well. So basically we're getting the flavor from the 2 browned onions, and then we're getting that crunch from that raw onion at the end. So 4 cans. Now, whatever event you're cooking for, your quantity, just adjust accordingly. But I'm going in with 4 cans of Bush's grilling beans. And you can use whatever beans you want. I don't, whatever you like. That's fine with me. No big deal. I think these ones are the bourbon and brown sugar grilling beans. Okay, I have a steakhouse and a couple of different ones, but that's what I use. I like the brown sugar in my beans. And then I just throw 1 can of dark red kidney beans in. Really for the flavor, or not the flavor, sorry, the color and just the meatiness of that bean. It makes this a little bit more of a manly camp bean type thing. It just looks nice in there, and it switches it up, gives it a good contrast, looks nice. Then we're gonna go in, no drippings. Don't take out any of the drippings out of this pork sausage here. All that liquid is going in. All that flavor, we want it. So we're going in with all that meat, all the drippings, nothing strained out. Everything's going into this. These are a man's grilled beans, This is what beans should be to a man right here. Half of the shit is gonna come out of that full pan because I'm in a hurry. But this is a nice meaty pan of beans here. Get your buddies together, have some beers, share some hunting stories, shoot some guns, rev your pickups, whatever. Do man stuff. That's what these beans are meant for. These are my camp beans. And you know what? I love these things. Now, if you have to add some liquid, you could always add some ketchup. That kind of goes nice with baked beans. I'll probably throw a little hot honey in this, Mike's Hot Honey, in with these. Maybe a little bit of brown sugar. But these are going to sweat nice. They're going to make, these beans are going to sweat. They're going to make liquid. So we'll be just fine. We've got that all mixed together. I am going to throw a little bit of Bayou blend in these. Give them some heat. So we've got those jalapenos in there already. And then I'm going to go in with some Killer Hogs, the barbecue rub in here. And then I'm going to throw just a little bit more brown sugar in these. And just give them that, sweet kind of brown sugary flavor, just adding to them. Bush's camp beans. So that's enough. Going with that, we'll throw a little bit of Mike's Hot Honey in here. Ooh, honey fart. Listen to that. That's crazy. So yeah, I'm just gonna mix this up. Again, which I guess I didn't need to mix it before, but so I'm just gonna mix it again. But here we are, repeating our steps. But we're just gonna mix these up again. Get all that seasoning in there, mixed in, get all of our flavors incorporated. And then we're gonna throw these right on the smoker with those pork butts uncovered. Gonna let these come up to temp, you know, let all the flavors that are in this meander in there and coexist, if you will, and come together as a big party in that pan. And you know, if you get these done early, I'm gonna throw these in a crock pot when they're done. That way I can keep them warm until we eat later at 4 o'clock. So just gonna kind of let these cook for probably about an hour and a half or 2 hours probably. So we'll be back when all this stuff is done. Honestly, I'll probably see you back at the party itself, because I think this is just about it. You guys, you know what it's gonna look like when it's done. They're camp beans. It's not anything highfalutin. So we'll be back and we'll have a good time later. All right, guys, so here we are at the final product. We're down here at the party. We're having some beers, we're having some food, and this is my buddy Bo. This is why we're here. The professional baby maker himself. Bo, why don't you tell the people just how you made this baby?
Well, you see, it was just one of those times that, you know, just coming into the dresser, and I was just getting a shirt or getting a pair of underwear or something. I looked up and there she was. She was up on the dresser, and next thing you know,
she had her cape on.
Yeah, had her cape on, and I laid back, and it was making time. And
that was it.
And then there it was. Here we are.
The rest is history.
The rest is history.
So, Bo, I'm so happy we're here with you today. You know, this is what life leads up to.
True that.
That's why we're here. We've got camp beans with a deer we shot last weekend.
Dudes.
A bunch of dudes. Total sausage fest out here.
Here's dudes.
But we're out here. We're celebrating our great buddy. And I just think it's awesome what you got going on, man.
It's awesome.
So happy for you.
Thanks for cooking that.
Hey, no problem.
Look at that.
And now we've got a bunch of food here, but we're going in with the brisket. That's what everybody wants to see. So
that looks pretty nice.
Bo, grab a piece of that.
I'm gonna just do the whole thing.
Those are good fixins.
Those are some good fixins.
So,
cheers.
Cheers, buddy. So, guys, we're all done. We'll get a couple of shots of people eating food. But
here we are.
That's a good weekend right there. That'll do.
That'll do.